Make the time to start the healing. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Feel the sunshine on your skin. And let your life resume again. And let your life resume again. Pay attention to your pain. Reach out and find your comfort. Take a walk and play some music. Make the time to start the healing. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Look to the sky and breathe it in. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Feel the sunshine on your skin. And let your life resume again. And let your life resume again. For this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day.
Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. And thank you for joining us here at Unity Spiritual Center for our live Zoom Sunday service. Some of you may be coming in through Facebook, but however you have found us, I'm so glad that you have and that you are with us today. One thing to note before we get started, and that is that I am putting you all on mute as you come in, and that's so that you don't have to worry about any background noise. What that means is that when you see the responsive readings and the songs, we won't be able to hear your voice, but we do encourage you to say or sing those words in the privacy of your own home. There are two exceptions to that, and one will be when I look for a volunteer for the daily word. I'll be asking if anyone wants to read it. If you do think that you might want to read the daily word, you can go right now onto dailyword.org and get a copy of today's reading, and then let me know that you want to volunteer either by putting it in the chat or waving at the webcam. We will also be asking for people to share any prayer requests aloud that they would like to. And again, if you would like to share a prayer request in your own words, in your own voice, you can write it in the chat, or again, you can wave at the webcam and we'll call on you and unmute you. But for now, I invite you just to take a deep breath wherever you are as we go within our inner sanctuary, where we are always safe, guided, and at peace. Just take this time to let go of any worries or concerns as we connect virtually with each other and with the God of our understanding. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we celebrate the truth that our God is love, as expressed in Unity's foundation statement, which you see on the screen in front of you. And I invite you to please repeat this along with me. There is only one presence and one power, active as the universe and as my life, God the good, omnipotent. So take another deep breath now. Become comfortable and gently release any cares of the day. Because the only thing that you need to do in this hour is to open yourself up to the love and goodness of the divine as you relax into this sacred time and space at Unity Spiritual Center. For 75 years now, we are now well into our 75th anniversary year. We at Unity Spiritual Center have celebrated and honored people of every culture, of every creed, of every race, of every religion, of every age, and every lifestyle, knowing that there are many paths to God, many faces of God, many names for God, but only one God. Seeing through eyes of oneness and acknowledging our oneness, we know that God indwells all people and is expressed through each of us in unique, special, and individual ways. Unity offers positive, practical, progressive spiritual teachings and tools that honor the universal truth in all religions and respects each individual's right to choose a spiritual path. And as I always do, I'm going to light a worship candle so that we have a visual aid that really gives us an image of what those words that I just said look like. I'm having a bit of trouble with my matches here. There we go. And I also, you may have noticed if you've been here for a while that I did get a new computer, which gives me a much broader screen. And it also means that I'm going to have to lean sometimes when I'm like putting this candle away. But for now, I want you to take a look at it so you can see this flame, so that you can really take in that you have a divine flame within. And that flame is God. That flame is who you are. And remember, when you see this or when you think of this, that God does God's work in the world through the movements of your hands and your heart. So excuse me while I lean over to put that on my desk. And let us think about what our vision is for all of us here. Our vision at Unity Spiritual Center is that you discover the power within you to create the life of your dreams, that you have peace of mind and deep happiness, that you enjoy joyous and loving relationships with yourself, with spirit, and with others, that you spend your days doing what you love and feel called to do, at least part of your days. And most of all, that you know that your life matters, that you make a difference, and that the world is a better place because you're here. So let's pause now to hear a wonderful music selection by our music maestro, Michael Hatfield, and I am going to put the spotlight on him.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a soul like me. I once was lost, but now am found. I was blind, but now I see. "'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed." Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will take me home. Was grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will take me home.
Ah, that was beautiful.
You are welcome.
Michael, thank you so much. One of my very favorite songs. It's actually the first song I learned how to play on a guitar. I think it was like 2 chords, A7 and G or something. I don't remember. Or
I added a few chords for fun, but yeah.
It was beautiful. Thank you so much. So always remember that if you would like to express your gratitude, and I can see some of you doing it in the chat right now, feel free to use these reaction buttons or to use the chat to let people know if you especially appreciated something. So as we continue to get comfortable and relax even more deeply into this time of worship, prayer, and meditation, let us open our hearts to receive the message of today's daily word. I'm going to check the chat real quick and see if anybody has volunteered. And if not, I'm going to put the gallery up again. And if you would like to read, oh, I see Kathy Russell is at the ready. So Kathy, I'm going to put the spotlight on you and read away. Thank you so much for volunteering.
No worries. It's a good word for today, Sunday, February 28th, our last day in February. The word is connection. I honor my connection with all people. No matter how great the distance that exists between me and the people I care about, I know we are connected by our love for one another. Today, I reestablish and strengthen this connection by reaching out, even if it's only to let someone know I'm thinking of them. Our connection is also kept strong through prayer. As I pray for those I care about, I bless them by holding my highest vision for their lives, seeing them as healthy, prosperous, happy, and fulfilled. Whether we're in frequent contact or have fallen out of touch, my connections with my loved ones remain strong because we are one in God, one in love. And the scripture is from 1 Corinthians chapter 12. For in the one Spirit, we were all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit.
Thank you so much, Kathy. That was really beautiful. Unity Spiritual Center is a center of prayer and healing. During this time of shelter in place, you are always invited to continue giving us your prayer requests as you used to, either by sending them in, emailing them in, or leaving them on our answering machine, which is a secure line. Jerry will put the information in the chat for you to have that handy. And for everyone who has sent in, emailed in, or called in a prayer request, let's take this moment to hold them in our hearts. You may not know the people represented or the situations represented, but you know that these are members of our community. So let's just hold the written and unwritten, spoken and unspoken prayers in our hearts. And know with me that no matter what the circumstances are, divine love and divine order are present in their lives. And now is the time to make our prayers audible, and that is to share your prayer needs with your spiritual family here, either through the chat or again by indicating in the camera if you would like us to unmute you so that you can speak your prayer request. I do want to remind everyone that this is a vulnerable time. This is a time when people are asking for prayer, and that what is being asked for is prayer, not advice. So let's remember to support the members of our community in prayer when they ask. And after Michael sings the prayer song that we use every Sunday, which will remind you of what we say after every prayer request is made, we will finish, or we will cap, we will hold that individual prayer by singing "Your Prayer is My Prayer Too."
We are connected by the heart. Where do you end? Where do I start? Whatever you feel, I feel too. You're a part of me, I'm a part of you. Your prayer is my prayer too. Your prayer is my prayer too.
We have some prayers coming in through the chat. Valerie is asking for prayers for Tess.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Randy is asking for prayers for her cousin's wife, Renee, who was recently diagnosed with metastatic lung cancer.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Adrienne is asking for prayers for her Aunt Kathy, who passed away on Monday, and for her Aunt Claudia. They lived together for the last 20 years, and she's asking for prayers for comfort for Claudia, who is grieving the loss of her sister and companion.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Jerry is asking for prayers for his friend Joanne, who has been diagnosed with cancer.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Joni is asking for prayers for her friend, Jessica's mother, for her friend Jessica's mother and father's health.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Mary is asking for prayers for God's grace in fractured relations with family, friends, and neighbors for direction towards healing.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Kathy is asking for prayers for her son and family.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Mary Ellen is asking for prayers for Kathy for protection on her trip to Florida this week.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Kathy is asking for prayers for Norma Hall and Joe, her son, who is lovingly caring for her.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And Lauren is asking for prayers for continued help with his allergies.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
Are there any additional prayer requests? Judy, we'll unmute you, or you unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I want to pray for my good friend who is just now decided she needs to escape from her relationship with a man who's turned out to be quite dangerous. She's making her plans now. Prayers for her.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And it looks like Ruben or Josephine's hand is up.
I'd like to pray for my nephew who's going to have surgery next month on his knee. It's reparative surgery.
Your prayer is my prayer too.
And I'm scrolling through to see if there's any other prayers that you would like to speak aloud. Again, just indicate that in the chat or by waving at the webcam. Well, as you know, we also have a time in our service where we share our blessings, things that we're thankful for, that we're grateful for, things that made us happy. And I can start us off with Lauren giving thanks that Lady Gaga's bulldogs were found. Any other things you'd like to express gratitude for? Josephine is grateful for our Unity family. Anything else? Excellent. So Kathy, they are coming in quickly. Let's see. Mary is grateful for this exquisite God-given day and for her first COVID shot. Valerie is grateful that Zane is getting his first vaccine. Kathy is grateful for a friend who helped her navigate through the process to get a vaccination before I travel. That is great news, Kathy. I'm so glad you were able to. Joni is grateful for her health. Reverend Ikea is grateful to have heard Karen Drucker's conference at the INTA conference a few days ago. Judy is grateful for God's guidance and strength. Susan is grateful for being in Plymouth with her family. I'm going to scroll down because I just saw Susan. Yeah, it's a different background. Well, wonderful, Susan. We are thankful for the technology that keeps you with us. And we're grateful that you're looking at pasture, trees, and beautiful skyline, plus mountains covered in snow. Helen is grateful that both of her parents are receiving both of their shots now and is praying that they will not have too many side effects. Shirley is grateful for a visit from her grandson and nephew. All of these are wonderful things. Anything else to add to the list of things that you are grateful for or thankful for? Is that another one from you, Ruben? Yeah.
Grateful to be alive and to be able to see the wall in front of me.
Absolutely. And Larkin, do you have a prayer request? And just need to unmute yourself. Let's see.
I'm Ellen, but I'm grateful for Larkin, my daughter.
Oh, wonderful. Well, we're grateful that for you, Ellen, and for Larkin, her technology allowing you to be here. And Andy is grateful for a second shot on Wednesday. Valerie is grateful that Michael gets his second vaccine on Tuesday. Wonderful. Anything else to celebrate?
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We give thanks for this opportunity to bless and to be blessed in spirit. We give thanks for the knowledge that when we ask, it will be given to us. When we seek, we will find. When we knock, the door will be opened to us. We give thanks for the feelings of peace and comfort and connection that fill our hearts and minds right now, even though we are in a virtual community. And we give thanks for the privilege of praying for others in our community, in our nation, and around the world. We affirm always and in all ways, divine order and divine love is everywhere present. And so it is. Thank you, God.
Lift every voice and sing. Tell earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod. fell in the days when hope unborn has died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood that was slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou hast by Thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever on the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we meet Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadow beneath Thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
Thank you, Michael, for another wonderful song. As hopefully most people know, that is the African American national anthem. I believe there's a bill that Representative Jim Clyburn of South Carolina has recently introduced to make that the country's national anthem. And it's a really perfect way to begin what we're going to be talking about today. As you can see, the title is Not Just Words, which I actually took from a Barack Obama speech, but then I ended up not using the passage that includes those words. But wanted to really focus on how words can be so much more than just words, how they can be a source of hope and strength and inspiration, just as the words in that anthem proved. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Does anyone know who said that? That was one of just many incredible things written by Martin Luther King Jr. And today is the last day of Black History Month 2021, which I wanted to mark and celebrate in some way. Now, unfortunately, the two different plans that I had for doing this weren't able to be realized. So that left me in the somewhat uncomfortable position of being the one to talk on this day, because the last thing I would ever want to do is to white-splain the African American experience. But when thinking about this assignment and what I could talk about, what I realized that I could do is speak as a writer and a minister to a few of the African American writers who have ministered to me, who have touched my mind, heart, and soul in some way, and to let them speak by using their words. And first on the list is, of course, Martin Luther King Jr. Now, as you know, Martin Luther King was a civil rights activist, but he was also a minister and an amazing writer. In fact, one of the ideas I had was just simply reading several of his quotations and then leaving space for you to comment on what you found particularly powerful, or just to reflect on them. And I was thinking about doing this as our entire service. It may still be something that I will do someday. When I was getting my master's degree on culture and spirituality at Holy Names University, I created a list of Dr. King's quotations that mean the most to me. And I still find them pretty breathtaking for the way that they can convict one's spirit. So here are a few of them. You probably have heard me use some of these before. You probably have used some of these before yourself. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. That is a very powerful statement. A man who won't die for something is not fit to live. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. We use this every year on our volunteer program, volunteer appreciation service program. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Pity may represent little more than the impersonal concern which prompts the mailing of a check, but true sympathy is the personal concern which demands the giving of one's soul. The time is always right to do what is right. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. In fact, that last one, Infinite Hope, was the working title for a long time of the book I just finished putting together. Isn't that a wonderful phrase to remember and hold on to? Infinite hope. Just a few of the many, many, many riches that Martin Luther King left us. Someone else who has given me infinite hope, who indeed is perhaps forever tied to the word hope, is former President Barack Obama. Now, many of you know what a fan I am of him from the Barack Obama mug that Jerry brought me back from the National Portrait Gallery. And for the little bobblehead Barack that I have on my desk at the church, which speaks different phrases from his speeches when you touch his head. But leaving politics aside, one reason he means so much to me is because of his talent with words. And I was delighted this month to discover a documentary, hopefully some of you did too, that focused on Barack Obama, the writer, which reminded us that he was a New York Times bestselling author before he ever ran for national office. He is a writer, one who carefully chooses his words. And he is, in effect, if not in actuality, a minister. And the reason I wanted Michael to sing Amazing Grace today is because I perhaps like you, will never forget how moved I was when he broke into song while comforting the people of Charleston, South Carolina. He was a true minister in that moment. And I have many times thought what an incredible gift that was. And I have also many times thought how sad I am that I don't have a singing voice, because it's such an amazing thing to be able to offer people in the midst of a heartfelt and healing message. There are many examples, of course, of his spoken words that have moved us and continue to. And one speech that the documentary focused on was his speech at the 50th anniversary of the marches from Selma to Montgomery. Now, I highly recommend that you Google his speech to read it in its entirety. Many people believe that it is the most important speech that he gave us as president. Here are a few of his words to savor. Selma shows us that America is not the project of any one person, because the single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. We, the people. We shall overcome. Yes, we can. That word is owned by no one. It belongs to everyone. Oh, what a glorious task we are given to continually try to improve this great nation of ours. We honor those who walked so we could run. We must run so our children soar, and we will not grow weary, for we believe in the power of an awesome God, and we believe in this country's sacred promise. The words of Barack Obama. Someone else who believed in the power of an awesome God, and another one of my inspirations, is the late Maya Angelou. Did anyone see the American Masters documentary on her life that was on PBS this month? In order to pay tribute to her, and if you didn't see it, I do recommend that you look it up. She was quite an amazing woman in more ways than I even realized. I didn't realize what a part in her life dance played. You know, she was a dancer. She was a performer, in addition to being the poet and writer that many of us know her as. She was extraordinary. And in order to pay tribute to her, I want to quote not from one of her many wonderful books or poems, but from a discussion that she had about the power of words. You know, she too would have said, words are not just words. Now, some of you know that she was a student of unity. There's a video of her on our website. As a matter of fact, if you go to unitysf.org, you'll see it. And she often stressed how important it was to always use words mindfully. So this is a part of an interview that she did that I wanted to bring to your attention. Words are things, I'm convinced, she said. You must be careful about the words you use or the words you allow to be used in your house. The idea of words being things, Dr. Angelou says, comes from the Bible. In the Old Testament, we are told in Genesis that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God, she explained. That's in Genesis. Words are things. And this is why Dr. Angelou stressed the importance of being mindful when you speak. You must be careful, she said. Care about calling people out of their names, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance, she said. Don't do that. Words, she felt, have the power to seep into everything around you. Quote, I think they get on the walls, they get in your wallpaper, they get in your rugs and your upholstery and your clothes, Dr. Angelou said. And finally, into you. Words to remember. How grateful we can be for the examples of Reverend Dr. King, former President Obama, and Dr. Angelou, and the words they wrote and spoke that have seeped into us. We have been uplifted by them, and their words will live on in history. But I want to close with the words of someone from a new generation of orators and writers, someone who has been influenced by all of the people I just named. And that person is Amanda Gorman, who made a nation take notice when she read the inaugural poem last month. I've read and referenced her poem a number of times. And again, I really encourage you to go to Google if you would like to have a copy of it to read and remember and even recite, because there's something powerful about speaking her words and those words. But what I'm going to end with are her plans as she described them in a magazine article. In 2017, Gorman said that in 2036, she intends to run for the presidential election and has quite often repeated this dream at various events. In 2018, when she was selected as one of Glamour magazine's College Women of the Year, she said, "Seeing the ways that I, as a young Black woman, can inspire people is something I want to continue in politics. I don't want to just speak words. I want to turn them into realities and actions." May we honor and celebrate the words, the realities, and the actions of these four and countless others. You can see some of them on the screen before you now. Countless other African Americans throughout our history who have contributed so much to our country and to our culture. May we, like Amanda Gorman and like Martin Luther King, Barack Obama, and Maya Angelou before her, not just speak words. May we turn them into realities and actions. And so it is. Thank you, God. And I am so delighted that for our guided meditation, we will be led by our own beloved community member, Shirley Harris, who will be reading her original poem in celebration of Black History Month. So I am going to look now in the gallery view so that I can put the spotlight on her and take the spotlight off me. Thank you so much, Shirley, for wanting to share this with your community.
Thank you. Just sit back and try to relax. What if between 1619 and 1866, 12.5 million Africans had not been kidnapped from their homeland and brought to the United States of America as enslaved people? Only 10.7 million survived the 2-month trip. What would my life and my ancestors have been, and what would America be? What if in 1863, when President Lincoln freed the slaves through the Emancipation Proclamation, all enslaved people were truly able to be free, live a life of true equality? The white slave owners, especially those in the southern states, were not having it. Instead, they ignored the laws and set about terrorizing enslaved people and any persons or groups helping them to escape? What would my life and my ancestors have been, and what would America be? What if the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which established the power to enforce the laws, provide equal protection, and the extension of voting rights, which is still under attack today, or previously enslaved and all people had not been needed? What would my life and my ancestors have been, and what would America be? What if the various laws intended to give the same rights to previously enslaved people as those enjoyed by the white class had been implemented peacefully? For example, not setting dogs or opening fire hoses on Black children seeking to integrate schools because separate was not equal. Or another example, burning down an entire area in Tulsa, Oklahoma, because free Black people had made the area so successful and independent that it was known as the Black Wall Street. What would my life and my ancestors have been, and what would America be? What if the various civil rights acts had been accepted and not required Black and brown people to continually march in protests, boycott, or sue to be treated fairly in housing, business, voting, education, etc., so that the white race could continue to feel superior and powerful? What would my life and my ancestors have been, and what would America be? What if in 2008, the majority of American people had not elected the first African-American president, a Black man, Barack Obama, president of the United States, as he campaigned on the slogan, "Yes, we can"? Was this an indication that the majority of all Americans were demonstrating their belief in a country where everyone is equal? I asked myself if I was seeing hope, and perhaps my ancestors' struggles and suffering had not been in vain. However, by 2016, many Americans had become divisive and hostile to Americans' values, laws, and even to its democracy. As I ponder answers to my what if questions, many Americans are now working from home or home due to COVID-19 mandates. They have more time now to engage with various media outlets that show America real life examples of what Black and brown people experience on a daily basis and the resulting fallout on America. People have been able to see real life examples of police brutality toward Black and brown people, examples of systemic racism, understanding what white privilege, white supremacy, and white power looks like. What if some in America had never embraced the meaning of the term white privilege, white supremacy, or white power. What would my life have been, and what would America be? I tell you, we would be one United States of America with liberty and justice for all. And what if the golden rule was followed daily? What would my life be, and what would America be today? I would be a free African American woman living as an American citizen, enjoying the liberties granted to all Americans, regardless of the color of my skin or other exceptions. And my ancestors would be proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirley. I'm so grateful that you graced us with that beautiful poem that you wrote. Thank you so much. I see lots of hearts. I see lots of people expressing their gratitude to you for sharing that with us.
Thank you, Rev Maggie, for the opportunity. It was a struggle, but
Oh, it was beautiful. You did a
Thank
beautiful job. Thank you. So, with lots of love for that beautiful contribution, and for all the contributions of the people you see before us, those we mentioned, and many, many people not named. Let us affirm what we are as a community. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live. And I invite you to join with me in saying them aloud. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are: we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced here today and what we're about to experience in community together, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous ties and love offerings. As Michael shares a beautiful song, please take that time to write out a check to USC or to log on to our website. Jerry just put the direct link in our chat to make a donation online. Please do remember that our expenses continue during this time as we continue to look for ways to stay connected. So let us now take a moment to bless our tithes and love offerings as we hold them in our hands, either literally or metaphorically, or place them next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot,